Welcome to Kaks Bar and Podcast, Canada's first podcast bar. What that means is you can come here for food, you can come here for drinks, you can also come here and record a podcast. Come on down, we're located in downtown Calgary, Alberta in the Beltline area. See you soon. Okay, and we're rolling. This is an impromptu podcast. My bartender, Jake, he was in Kelowna during the peak of the BC wildfires. I just brought him on to talk about his experience there. And then we have Britta as well. Britta's a teacher. She also works part-time here at Kaks Bar and Podcast. And Britta also has some input into the situation with the fires because I guess she knows the first responders that's been dealing with the issue. But Jake, okay, I want you to explain to the people exactly what you said to me when you came back from your trip. And nice mustache, by the way. He doesn't normally have that.
Thank you. I serve Burt Reynolds and porn star shots only for the time being. Mm-hmm. But I was actually in the Shuswap region, a little bit north of Vernon in BC, for those forest fires that happened before the Kelowna fires started. And so we were on Blind Bay, right across from Copper Island, if anyone's been there before. Great little area, but the first fire that started was Adams Lake, just a little bit west of the Shuswaps. And it started, and it's been going on for about 3 weeks. And normal forest fire, but they didn't have the resources to fight it. So we show up to our Airbnb, and everything's normal. The air is a little tingy. It's a little orange. It's pretty smoky. Like, you definitely feel it in your lungs for sure. But nothing really to worry about.
So you guys decided to keep partying at first?
Yeah. Well, we figured, it's not really in our region. We're not really too worried about it. So we just kept doing what we do. So, you wake up, you have a couple beers, you hop on the boat, and you go on to Lake Shuswap. But
they have beers and then go on the boat.
Yeah, exactly. We have a DD, just to mention. We have a DD, just to mention. But, you find your spot where you want to turn off the boat, and you just want to hang out there all day, and you just want to drink. And, kind of take a floaty, you just want to sit there, right?
Yeah.
But the entire time you're there, you're getting constantly hit with burnt pine needles and ashes, the white ash that kind of stains your clothes. But then you're getting chunks of bark and chunks of trees that are about the size of a baseball. Not often, but you'll see those every once in a while land 10 feet from your boat, 5 feet from your boat.
And that didn't stop you guys from the good times?
No, because the entire time
I just feel wouldn't that kill the vibe a bit? You're let's keep partying, but then there's literally fire rocks flying at you.
Exactly. You think so, right? But being a bunch of group of friends from Alberta, you don't really see the forest fires like they are in BC. So you're out there for a good time, and you're having a good time. But then you see this whole thing of climate change happen in front of you. You have ashes landing all in front of you, but then
all right, Mr. Scientist, do we actually know it's climate change?
I'm not going to get into that if it's folks or not.
I mean, if you would like to talk to a scientist about climate change,
Britta is a scientist, but
that could be another podcast. That could be another podcast.
Let's continue to hear Jake's breakdown situation. Then I want to hear Britta's theory of what caused it. Or whatever.
But I mean, for any viewers that know the Shuswaps with Blind Bay and Cooper Island and then Scotch Creek, you know that the Adams Lake fire was growing up on the western side of that mountain ridge, and then continually growing up that mountain ridge. So the fire's not in vision yet, but it's there because you can feel the after effects of the ash and the embers falling and the pine needles, the burnt pine needles, and everything else. That orange kind of hue. You see the smoke line be about maybe 60, 75 feet in the air.
Okay, so you guys weren't worried at all the whole time?
No.
You guys just kind of thought, hey, this is cool. There's a fire.
We're not really, it's not a high alert. It's a contained forest fire. There's no residency anywhere around that region. It hadn't really blown up yet. That was the first 3 days that we were there. I don't have the dates in mind.
Okay, when did you guys get evacuated? Was it in the middle of your trip or?
2 days prior. Friday afternoon, we went to bed. And we were sitting on the balcony, and we were watching that fire from Adams Lake crescent that ridge, and you can see the fire kind of spit up right on the top before it went down on the east side of the mountain.
Are we talking about a football field away, and you can see the fire?
No, I'm talking probably 200
200
yards.
200 yards?
The lake?
Okay.
200 yards.
So
yeah.
so something that I actually just learned with these whole fires, the fire jumped the whole lake. Like that shit can jump.
That's Kelowna.
Isn't that near the same place though?
So Shuswaps is so you see Kelowna on the south, Vernon's north, and Shuswaps is just north of Vernon.
Oh,
the Kelowna fire
right.
started probably halfway through our trip, about 13 days, I think, after the Adams Lake fire. And it started on West Kelowna, right on that western side. It started coming up north. And then overnight on the Thursday, I don't remember the date, but overnight on the Thursday, when it crested that like western ridge of Kelowna, started working its way down the mountain, overnight, because of the embers that were flying through, it hopped the lake and it went to North Kelowna, which is where like Cactus Club, Earl's, like the main residency tourist kind of region is.
Were you scared? Were you guys scared at that point?
I mean, it was concerning not being a BC resident, right? Like, forest fires are pretty new to us. I mean, like, you see it. Like, the air itself was as orange as my hair.
I would have been such a little bitch.
The smoke,
I would have been so
the smoke
scared.
was terrible. Like, it felt like you were smoking.
But that's what I mean. How can you continue to party when those are the circumstances?
Because you're not really in harm's distance. There's catastrophe happening 10 kilometers away, but it hasn't escalated to the point where to the location that you're at.
Okay, so in the end, would you say your vacation was ruined, or you're
no,
kind of like
being a guy from Ontario? I think it was probably the coolest experience to actually go through that, to watch a forest fire mount a ridge, come down the west side, to watch that all blow up, to party during the whole thing. Like you're always aware of what happening.
So is the fires done, or are they still going right now? They're still going.
They're rampant.
So is Kelowna in danger of being torched down altogether? Or
there's a few houses already. They're already counting the resident homes that have already burnt down. Because on that west side of the western side of Kelowna has already been perished, right? You have multiple homes on the water that have already been burnt down before it hopped onto the north side. You're dealing with a lot of people being displaced from these evacuation orders, as well as there's a forest fire happening 100 yards away from the tourism section of Kelowna.
Okay, so correct me, I'm a bit ignorant here. It's been at least a decade since I've been to Kelowna, and Kelowna is a wonderful place, in my memory anyway, great time. These people are these their primary residences, or is it more like their secondary summer homes?
Honestly, it could be both. I mean, so a few years ago, I went to Kelowna for the summer, and we actually stayed on one of the houses that were right on the lake. So I was looking, I woke up and I was on TikTok in the morning, and all of these videos of Kelowna burning were popping up, and I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But all of these videos of these lake houses that were on the western, over the lake, is where exactly we were staying a couple of years ago, and those houses were just about to start burning down, basically, and
I guess what
residents got evacuated.
I
don't know. I think some of them are primary residents, but I think a lot of it is also their summer vacation cabin homes, right? But I mean,
obviously, we don't feel as bad for people who lost a summer vacation home. I guess it sucks. You worked hard to develop that, but at least you're not. You still have a house. Feel bad. We still feel bad, but for the people who lost their primary residence,
I think the ones right on the lake, those big mansion homes, are probably a lot of them vacation homes. But right behind those big mansion homes, that's where you have a lot of those residences.
If you get up the hill a little bit more, I'd assume that it's probably a primary residence couple or family that's living there, right? And they're being displaced from their primary home.
Okay, well, obviously our prayers go out to those people, but to the other people who have third-party homes at the same time, okay, that sucks bad. At the same time, okay, you lost your third-party home.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to feel bad for that, right?
Well, especially since we only have one partner. No, I'm joking. We don't have any extra party homes. Maybe one day we'll be like that. That's the goal, isn't it?
That really is the goal.
Okay, but Britta, you had some insight into the people fighting the fires. You said you know them. What's going on there?
Yeah, so one of my best friends is actually a firefighter in BC right now. She's a wildfire fighter. So her actual crew was sent to kind of the front lines, I guess you would say, at the beginning of this week. So she was in a smaller part of BC where the fires weren't as close to communities, but because they were getting so bad near all of those communities and those just citizens and regular people. She actually got called to stop fighting the fire where they were, and they had to go to, I can't remember what the name of the town was called, but it's one of the northern ones that is like fully on fire. Like the town is burning to the ground. And I just, she isn't like one of the ones right there fighting the fire. She's kind of the second line behind them. But she has been telling me how like they're sleeping in tents and it's like damp and it's cold at night. And it's been a little bit rainy here and there, but obviously not enough. But just hearing about the conditions that these people are working in to save everybody else is absolutely insane, and I could never do it myself. But they work 12 to 16-hour days fighting these fires, and they're chopping through forests, and they're carrying wood, and they're carrying water, and it's like, it's just insane to me.
Okay, props to those first responders fighting that.
First responders.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a theoretical question for the dais here. Why do you think all these fires are happening? Like, do you really think God's shitting on us for being so sinful motherfuckers? Or
I mean, like, I don't believe in God, but like, obviously, us as human beings are not doing an awesome job. I am definitely a climate change believer.
You're a scientist, but
I'm a
is
scientist,
it actually
right? So,
climate change? Is this natural occurrence? Because it seems like there's a lot of fires everywhere recently.
I can't say for
like
sure.
Hawaii's
like,
on fire right now.
I mean, like, so I'm a human body scientist, right? So, I mean, as much as I know a lot about science in general, it's not necessarily my forte. However, if you look at like the temperatures of the world, right, they have been higher and they are going higher. I can't say either way for sure what's causing them, right? But it has been very dry. It's been very hot. That's what
this
causes.
Is a natural occurrence, is what you think.
I mean, I think it's a combination, right? I think people in general, we've not done a great job at keeping care of our forests, right? People tend to throw cigarette butts. Like, I'm not innocent in that.
Is it really a theory one cigarette caused all that?
I mean, maybe not all of it, but cigarettes, they will. Like, one cigarette, if it has a tiny ember in it and you throw it out of your car and it, for some reason, catches fire on a dry piece of grass, that can set a whole forest fire into action. Like, they're serious about that.
You saw the Calgary Zoo 2 days ago from a grass fire from a cigarette.
I wasn't aware of that one.
From a cigarette butt, 48 hours ago, thrown on the Memorial Drive, skateboarding bike lane. The cigarette butt was thrown, and you saw the whole grass light up right in front of Deerfoot and Memorial. Oh. You see how something small can start something so big. For a full forest fire, I really don't know. It could be backcountry campers, it could be a cigarette butt, it could be just a backyard burn and an ember lands in the wrong place. You have no idea really where a forest fire originates from. But
what do you think, though?
But personally for me, I mean, forest fires are a natural occurrence, and like a lot of people don't take into effect that 100 hectares, which is 10 times more than an acre, will burn naturally throughout the year in Western Canada. So I think throughout the years you've seen that progress a lot more south to where the populated areas of Canada are. But I don't know really if it's a bad thing. I mean, it's bad that it's happened to a higher population metropolitan area, but forest fires are still
why
great.
Would you say it's not a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing because forest fires are still great, right? Because when you burn wood and all these nutrients of a tree and the whole forest, you still have that nutrients go into the soil. So although it'll be devastating for the next 3 years after a forest fire has been extinguished,
like a whole new.
It's still great because the nutrients in the soil will eventually evolve into something better.
Forest fires are a natural part of our ecosystem. They actually help regenerate our ecosystem and create a brand new.
Huh? But is there a way to at least predict them? Because why would you build a custom home then if you're gonna have a fire?
You can't predict shit in this world.
Same reason that people are building homes on floodplains in the southeast of Calgary,
like Elbow River. Look it up. So all those homes, those $3 million homes in Elbow River for the floods, you cannot get home insurance for floods because it's unpredictable. And same thing with a BC lakefront property. I'm sure you probably can't get fire protection on your home insurance.
That was something me and Cass thought about when we started this because we have no water flood protection. Apparently, no insurance covers that for this spot.
Exactly.
So actually,
after 2013,
we have sewage backup. We have everything else. We have fire, but apparently there's a flood again.
Yeah.
No, I was wrong on both.
But apparently there's a flood here. We're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, you are. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But we're just thinking why well, everyone's fucked around here, I guess. So we'll be
together.
We'll be fucked together, and like I'm sure there'll be some kind of like, GoFundMe relief thing because feel sorry for us for if we.
Well, the last time it flooded that horrifically also was in 2013, and before that,
I lost everything I had in my
it
condo.
has almost never been seen. So the chances of it, like, risk versus reward, risk it for the biscuit. That's what I'm saying.
That was what we concluded with that one of many other factors. But we're like, they said no flood coverage, but we're like, what do we do? Like, just not try this? So, okay, we'll go for it, Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for your input there. And hopefully everyone, does well in their recovery from the fires. Obviously, no one wishes that upon anyone. Jake, thanks for your first person input. And Britta, thanks for your theories.
My theories.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.